All right, guys, we are back with our part two, making the cornbread for our dressing. So right now I have 5.5 cups of self-rising meal, and I'm going to add to that about 2 cups of flour. That's one and two. Okay, now because this flour is all purpose, remember what I said earlier, when your flour or meal doesn't have a leaven agent in it, you're going to have to put something in it to help it rise. Yes, I got self-rising meal, but my flour is plain flour or all-purpose flour. So I'm going to add to that some baking powder, just 1 tablespoon. Any kind of baking powder do. And when you have a baking powder can like that, when you see the little strip there, that kind of like helps you level it off like that. So that's 1 tablespoon. And because we know that the self-rising meal has salt in it, but the flour doesn't, I'm going to put just a little pinch of salt. Something like that. And I'm going to do just a little tinge of sugar. That's it, because this is dressing with making on it. Okay, so now I'm just going to stir all of this together, just to kind of get it combined. And also, too, y'all, my very, very first video is a cornbread tutorial. So you can go back and look at it. I was so nervous. Oh, my goodness. But, I mean, you can get some good tips out of it. But, you know, as we go along, we get a little better. We learn different things to do better. So, all right, that's enough. I'm hoping I'm not going to wish I had used a bigger bowl. All right, so now, since this is a little bit more than what I normally would do, this is 5.5 plus 2, so that's what, 7.5 in all. Okay, that's my oven. Let me know that it's ready. So we're going to use, I have in all 3 cups of buttermilk. Make a little well there just to put it in there. We're going to start out with the 2 first. I normally just eyeball this stuff, y'all. And I'm going to go ahead and put my eggs in. I have 4 large eggs. If I was doing like 2 cups, 3 cups, 2 cups of meal, and 1 cup of flour, I would use only 2 eggs. So I just kind of double it because I got to make a lot of dressing. So we got our eggs. This is another secret ingredient of mine, y'all. Mayo. I always do mayo. You should give it a try. It really helps, makes the bread, your cornbread, smooth. You can add it to your biscuits when you're making homemade biscuits. And to be honest, if you just doesn't have egg, or if you got just powdered eggs, the mayo would kind of help substitute for that. Because it's, you know, it's kind of like a vegetable, kind of like a vegetable oil that's in it. So we got our mayo in there. I have some melted butter. And I always do melted butter, and I do cooking oil. All right, so let's see what we're going to get here. How much more of that milk we're going to need. This may get it. Now, if you was just doing just regular cornbread, that sugar that I use, I would have used all of that. But because this is going to be dressing, I didn't use but just a little bit. All right, so I already see if I can use a little bit more milk. This is the beginning of a good tasting dressing, y'all. The cornbread. This is the foundation of it, I would say. And then when you start getting those spices up in there. But I'm going to take y'all along with this with me so y'all can see exactly what I do. Just how it's done. Step by step. We're going to do this, y'all. So that's all of that. 3 cups of buttermilk. This is a lot to work with right here. And if you decide for the first time to try my recipe, y'all, with the dressing, please let me know down below. Because I know a lot of people, that's kind of like a fear. But you will really be amazed and you will be so proud of yourself to make your very own cornbread dressing. And then the more you make it, that's why I told my son about making cornbread dressing and potato pies. The more you make it, the better it's going to get. Then you'll start doing your own little tweaks with it. You know, adding your little spin to it. Okay. I'm going to need a little more milk. I'm going to step away, y'all. Just a little bit more. So that was about another 3/4 cup. But I should have known, though. This is like 7 cups, 7.5 cups and all, right? Yeah. All right, I think this is going to get it. And I'm just working it in. You may be wondering, why should I use a mixer? No, you don't want to use no mixer with cornbread. I mean, you can, but I wouldn't because it doesn't require as much. It doesn't require as much stirring and mixing. And to be sure that you're not over mixing it, you just kind of, once you get it all incorporated together, then you can just kind of like start folding. Go in, round, fold over. Go all the way to the bottom. You want to make sure you don't have nothing, no dry pockets down there. This is nice and thick like I want it. And what I mean by that is, if I was making just regular cornbread or my regular muffins, you know, to go with some vegetables or whatever, I would have a little bit more oil in here and a little bit more milk. Just to give it, just so it can be just a little bit more soupy. But this consistency here, this is what I want for my cornbread dressing. And why? Because when I go adding everything else in it, I'm gonna still, when I get ready to, before I put it in the oven, when I mix everything, the stock and all that, I'm gonna still add 2 more eggs. So that's why I say this is the perfect consistency right here. 1 potato, 2 potato, just like that. This is what we want. All right, so now I got my pan right here. It's already been sprayed and greased. And this is a pretty big size pan here that I'm using because, like I said, I gotta split this dressing 3 ways. It's going to 3 different homes. See if I can set my stool right here so y'all can. Excuse that call, y'all. I had to let this darn phone charge up. It's about to go out on me. But anyway, let's get this bread in this pan. And this is gonna go with, you know, in the one part what I showed you, what I made those muffins. So like I say, yeah, this is gonna be a lot of dressing. So I got to really be on point with my measurements. It has to really be tasty. Because I like to stand behind my stuff, Chad. And when you make yours using the ingredients that I'm giving you, I want you to be just as proud of yourself for doing it. How about that? And if it's something else y'all want to see me do or give it a try, because it could be something that I haven't tried before, I would. Now, I tell you this, I don't eat seafood, but I would make it. I just don't, no, I don't like seafood. I catered a baby shower, my daughter's best friend, and they did a brunch, and shrimp and grits was on the menu. Look at me making a mess like a baby. Shrimp and grits was on the menu. And my daughter, she said, Mom, this stuff is perfect. I was glad she said that because normally, you know, when you cook something, you're supposed to taste what you're cooking. But I'm like, because I just can't stand seafood. But everybody loved it. So that's the recipe that I stick with. Those grits were looking good now. All right, y'all, we got this in here. Got it spread nice and evenly. When I first found this pan here at Hobby Lobby, they had the round one and they had the square. And when I got it mainly for like when I do like jumbo cinnamon rolls. But last Thanksgiving and Christmas, I made the cornbread in it for, well, actually, I made cornbread in it a couple times for 2 events because they was feeding a big crowd, so that worked out perfect. So I was glad I got this pan because I get a lot of good use out of it. All right, so y'all, this is in here. Make sure I don't bag over nothing. I want to step back so you can see. See how big that is? This is a big old huge pan, y'all. But this is our cornbread, and I'm going to put it in a 350 degrees oven until it get nice and brown on top. And when we come back for our part 3, we're going to crumble this bread up, and we're going to start with our spices first going in. Y'all, let's get excited because you're going to make some good doggone dressing and you're going to love it. People are going to praise you for your dressing. All right, so we'll be right back. Take a little break. Go outside, get some air, get you something to drink on. Check out YouTube or something or somebody else. But don't go too far because I'm coming back. Bye.